DermBiz episode 29. I'm going to tell a story on a mistake that we were making in our practice and how making this very small adjustment has improved our efficiency, allowed us to catch opportunities when they arise, and also allow us to avoid problems as they potentially come up. DermBiz episode 29. Let's get started. And so, in this episode, we're going to discuss the importance of checking the numbers. And we've had discussions before. I've done videos before about why you should check the numbers, the value in checking the numbers. However, in this video, we're going to go a little bit deeper. And so, I remember when we first started our practice, I did monthly reports. And so, every 30 days, I would check our profit and loss. Every 30 days, I would take a look at our accounts receivable. Every 30 days, I would try to look at what I figured to be the key metrics in our practice. Metrics that could tell us how things have been going over the last month, and metrics that could give us an indication of how things may be going in the next 30 days. And as I got started doing this process, I found that I was missing a lot of information. Oftentimes, I would discover after 30 days that if I'd have been looking ahead at the schedule a little bit further, we would have been able to schedule more patients and more efficiently create our day, as opposed to having gaps and holes in the schedule where staff didn't have as much work to do, providers didn't have as many patients to see. If I would have been looking ahead, I could have probably filled those days, whether that may have been Facebook ads, calling back patients to reschedule, or doing something to be able to add patients to the schedule. Sometimes I would look at the report and I would take a look at our expenses and I would be blown away. I'll be blown away at, maybe we were double purchasing items. We had already purchased, we already did an Amazon order to get items. And then the person who made the initial order didn't have a conversation with someone else. And now we got two sets of orders. It's not the end of the world because that's stuff that we'll potentially use as time goes on, but it wasn't necessarily what we budgeted for that month. And so I would discover things like that. I would notice suspicious charges. And so there have been times, when you have your own practice and you're making purchases, it's a very good chance that eventually your credit card is going to be hacked. And as opposed to me catching those discrepancies on the bill sooner, I was waiting a full 30 days to be able to review those transactions. We recognize that with credit cards, if you can let the credit card issuer know the situation, if you had theft going on, they'll reimburse it to your card. And so all the things that we caught, we were able to get reimbursed to our card. However, there were times where the same person, entity, company, who knows who was doing some of the stealing, made multiple purchases, and because I was only checking the reports once a month, I was missing a lot of that. And so it reminds me of a concept I heard about before when they talk about a rocket. When a rocket is going to outer space, they say that over 90% of the time, the rocket is off track. But that's not a major issue because that rocket is continually readjusting. Probably every second, probably every millisecond, it's adjusting. So it makes sure that it reaches its ultimate objective, its ultimate target. And so the mistake we were making by only checking the numbers once a month, by only going over those things 12 times a year, we only gave ourselves 12 opportunities to adjust and rearrange and make a different decision, to course correct, if you will. So, what we eventually discovered was if we had more opportunities to adjust, more shots on goal, more opportunities to take the information that we've been receiving, good, bad, or indifferent, and then use that information to make better decisions in the future. If we were doing that process more times, we found that we could get more results. At least that's what we assumed before we made the adjustment. And here's the adjustment we made. As opposed to running those reports monthly, we began to do it on a weekly basis. So every 7 days, we were checking the P&L. Every 7 days, we were going through all of the purchases and expenses throughout the business. Every 7 days, we were looking at the accounts receivable and what are our rejected claims and our denied claims. Every 7 days, we were looking at notes signed by providers and making sure people were getting those notes signed. Every 7 days, we were reviewing the performance of our team. And so by speeding up that process, as opposed to doing it once a month, we began to do it 4 times a month. And so simple math, as opposed to doing it 12 times a year, we were doing it 48 times a year. It gave us 4 times more opportunities to improve based upon the feedback that we were getting, to course correct based upon the information we were getting. And here's what we found: we were able to catch unnecessary expenses quicker. We were able to catch fraudulent charges quicker. We were able to adjust to our schedule to ensure that it wasn't a surprise the day before that we only had, 40% or 50% or 60% capacity on the schedule, that we saw that weeks before, and we were already making adjustments to combat that issue. We believe that this has been a major step toward a more efficient work environment where we're not dealing with so many surprises. Now, there's always going to be things that come out of the blue, but the more information that we can act upon, adjust our decision making, adjust our course, we found that it's been beneficial to us as a private practice. We recommend, if you are only checking your numbers once every 30 days, to adjust and increase it. Maybe you don't do it once a week. Maybe you start off doing it bi-weekly. We believe, though, if you speed it up and get to bi-weekly, you'll see the advantages and potentially think about moving to a every week process. We found that sooner than every week, the numbers don't really give you a clear enough feedback of what's going on. You're kind of zoomed in too close. For us, we found if you're doing it more frequently than every 7 days, but we believe that every 7 days is a sweet spot to be able to gain the information that you need to take your practice to the next level and to avoid problems or issues that may be going on that you may not be noticing real time.
What other specific topics related to the business of private practice management would you like for us to cover? Please share in the comments below or reach out to us on social media or our email address, thedermbiz@gmail.com. Our mission is to create a movement of collaboration and support amongst physician-owned private practice owners. If you would like to join that movement, again, don't forget to like, share, comment, and please don't forget to subscribe.